Welcome back, True Seeker. I just took a handful of minutes to make a video that Google was nice enough to strike right at 91 views, supposedly, which is the 13th triangular number. It's about NFL Week 13. But for them taking down this video, it irked me, and I'm going to put out the same information one more time. It's been a lot of years now that we've been talking about the ongoing rituals of the NFL and the news and history and the flag and the protest of the flags and Black Lives Matter and what's really controlling all these things by numerical ritual. And, you go back to the season where it began with the focus on Colin Kaepernick, the San Francisco 49er, protesting the flag and the national anthem. And that really took off, that preseason game where that happened. It was on the 239th day of the leap year. It was 2016. And the flag in history was sewn in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street. And we'll get to more on that. But again, there's a long history with the Bay Area in Philadelphia in history and in sports. And for example, at this game where the 49ers blew out the Eagles in Philly, Deshaun Jackson, who played at Cal in the Bay Area, they retired his name with the Eagles in Philadelphia for this game that has the Bay Philly thing going. And again, teams like the Warriors and the Athletics have the history of being in Philly and being in the Bay. And names like Madden and Gruden have this Philly Bay connection. A lot of big rituals with Philly and the Bay that we talk about again and again. Last year, the NFC Championship was that. The 49ers, all their quarterbacks got hurt. So this was their return game since everybody got hurt. And then they come in and blow out the Eagles. But Gematria, the simple practice of coding numbers into words. The word flag equals 19. And Samuel put this game away while the Eagles were on 19 points with a breakaway touchdown, having a multi-touchdown game, scoring again. But while the Eagles are on 19, Deebo Samuel, who wears the number 19, puts the game away. And when he scored, it made it 41-19. 41 is the 13th prime number. This is NFL Week 13. The NFL scheduled 13 games this week. I do believe this is the first week this year where there were 13 games. I'll go back and double check that. But 13 games. And again, it began in Dallas. In Gematria, Dallas is the 13 city. Last year, Brady lost his last playoff game, picking up a 13 in the L column for the playoffs. This week, or this NFL week, again, began with Dallas with a 41-point win. Again, 41's the 13th prime number. Dak Prescott got his 41st home win in that game on the anniversary of the death of George Herbert Walker Bush, who's buried in Texas, who was number 41. Who's a member of a powerful secret society, Skull and Bones, that's modeled after the Bavarian Illuminati, which was founded with 13 families. And again, established just before the U.S. Revolution with 13 colonies, and then a flag with 13 stripes, again, sewn in Philadelphia, the nation's original capital. But after the extra point, the score became 42-19, which is 61 total points. And Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers, got his 61st regular season win. He also got his 67th all-time win, if you include his 6 postseason wins, 61 in the regular season, 6 in the postseason, for a total of 67, which is the 19th prime. And, of course, he's the son of a former NFL coach who's also been to Super Bowls just like his son. And again, in Gematria, Philadelphia equals 61. We knew that 93 had a huge potential to be an awesome pattern this week in the NFL, and so far it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Every team that can become 9-3 did. We had a strong feeling that would be the case. It's part of the reason I made the password number 93 for the notes this week. Strong feeling that 93 would be the ticket because, again, this week fell in Aleister Crowley's death anniversary. And Sandra Day O'Connor died at 93 on his death anniversary. And again, he had the religion worshiping 93. And we already saw it earlier this year in the NFL week that fell on his birthday. They paid tribute to 93. So 93 again. Niners become 9-3. Philadelphia Eagles equals 93, just like how the Cowboys won at the beginning of the week. And they'll face the Eagles next now with a 9-3 record. Kind of like how the Eagles fall to 10-2 and Cowboys equals 102. So both teams, the Cowboys and Eagles, will face each other with records that match the gematria of the opponent. Again, you look at these things week in and week out, you see that they happen a lot. And again, to go back to the flag, because again, flag has Gematria 19. Colin Kaepernick, when he was on the Niners, protested the flag on the 239th day of the year. Donald Trump became president-elect later that year, and Donald Trump has the same birthday as the flag, June 14th. And when Trump became elected, the flag was 239 years old at the time. Its birthday is June 14th, 1777. And then shortly after that, there was an article about how Trump's doctor said he was a little overweight and he weighed 239 pounds. And then eventually Trump took on the NFL protesters of the flag on the 23rd day of the ninth month in the year of Super Bowl 52, where 239 is the 52nd prime. And that was the year the Eagles beat the Patriots with the flag on their helmet. And the Super Bowl, something we saw coming in week 3. We had the Patriots for the AFC before the season began. Didn't even hedge with anyone. We knew the Patriots were going there that year based on what happened in Super Bowl 51 with Tom Brady's 93 offensive plays when Minneapolis is the 93 city. Thus why they had the major 93 ritual last year on Saturnalia, the crazy game with the Colts and Vikings. It's a lot to explain, but Saturn is an important planet to the occult. It has Gematria 93. Aleister Crowley, who's the most famous English occultist, worshiped the number 93. Order of Illuminati has the Gematria of 93, again, founded with 13 families, 93 being perfect in this week that fell in the time of Aleister Crowley's death anniversary. But yeah, all of this stuff is connected. Again, you got to really start to think about how important numbers are to secret societies. There's a reason the Masons etch on their temple all is number. So let's go over some other rituals. I turned on the TV just to see what was going on, and then I was happy to see that we won all the afternoon games, so we turned our day around. So now we're back in positive territory for the day, but it still wasn't the greatest day. But we did have a beautiful Thursday night again. Anyway, for all the haters out there, we're back on the plus side. Anyhow, though, I turned on the TV just in time to see Aaron Donald sack Joe Flacco. And I just got to show you, so this is what we do each week when we break down these games. If you saw the end of the game, Aaron Donald, number 99, and we'll get to why 99 is so important to 13 again, and his teammate, number 91, are just dancing around. You know, the game's definitely over. It's a safety. It's a cherry on top. But we'll get to how 91 and 99 are both directly related to 13. If you add 1 through 13 together, it equals 91. Also on our calendar system, 13 weeks is 91 days. And here, I want you to see what the notes look like for our Rams and Browns game. We definitely like the Rams in this game, who were a 3.5-point favorite at home versus the Browns. And the Rams did pick up their 13th regular season win versus the Browns. And remember, the Rams are originally from Cleveland. But what stood out about this game is you see how Flacco came in on the 99 wins and Stafford's next win was 99. And remember when he was in the Super Bowl that he won on 2-1-3 in the 2-1-3 area code, LA over Bengals, it was 9 versus 9. But anyhow, Stafford, here, I'll show you everything that's so interesting about this. So again, we write out the scales and weigh out the games. And this actually looked like one of the best games of the day, the Rams to beat the Browns. But a big part of it was, again, the 99, because we've been talking about how important this number is with the Rams franchise and past rituals. And again, when you spell out 13 as a word, T is the 20th letter of the alphabet, H is the 8th, I is the 9th, R is the 18th, T is the 20th, E is the 5th, E is the 5th, N is the 14th. You add up those letters as numbers, they add up to 99. And it's interesting because the Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776, a date with 99 numerology, with 13 families. And then, here, for people who don't know this, again, I've shown this a million times. I have it written in books, but there's always somebody new here. And this really should make you think about who's really been running this nation from early on. Again, you spell out 13 with the alphabetic order, it's 99, just the most simple cipher. And if you write out the United States of America, it's also 99. Okay. And the United States was named that on September 9th, 1776. If you didn't know that, that's the official naming date of the country, 9-9. And if you drop the part, United States of America is 132. From the founding of the Illuminati, May 1st, 1776, to the establishment, the naming of the U.S., that's a span of 132 days. And 132 has got to be significant because that's how many rooms there are in the White House. And again, Roman Catholics 132 and Catholic Church is 132. And there's other relevance to the number. But again, Illuminati 13, this country in 13. Our money with the 13s all over it. If you don't know about the dollar bill in 13, take a minute to look up all the 13s on the US dollar bill and ask yourself, obviously, there's something else going on. K through 12 education, kindergarten through 12th grade, public school, standard, 13 years. So these rituals going down in NFL Week 13. Again, flag has the Gematria 19. Philly, the home of the flag. The city that has history with the Bay. The Liberty Bell was kept in San Francisco for a period of time. Now, I'm going to have to go back and research that more. Liberty Bell in Gematria equals 122, like San Francisco equals 122, like the city's on the 122nd meridian. Satanic's also 122, and that's where the Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco. But again, for these NFL Week 13 notes, we're talking about how significant that, like, the standout thing is the way that 99 plays on both sides. If Stafford beats Flacco, and they bring back Flacco, used to be with the Ravens, now for this game with the Browns, and he's 38 years old, and Ravens equals 38, and the old Browns team became the Ravens in 96 when Baltimore Ravens is 96. But anyhow, just the main standout thing was the 99-13. They had to end this game with a sack by number 99, Aaron Donald, on Flacco, right? Just to put the cherry on top to get it to 36 points. What is 36 in numerology? It's another 9. And again, you can see that the way the scales weigh. The other things that stood out, Flacco can also stay on 109 all-time wins. That's including the postseason. Los Angeles equals 109. Additionally, the Browns coach can get his 30th loss, and the Rams can get to 6-6 for the year in Week 13, where 13 is the 6th prime, and Rams equals 30. If Browns lose, they will also stay on 83 wins versus the NFC, where Los Angeles Rams and Cleveland Browns equal 83. And again, the Rams are from Cleveland. Football also equals 83. For one more, the Rams can get the 337th home win as a franchise on the 337th day of the year, which they did. And the things to think twice about on the other side, the narrative for Browns upset was the Rams coach can get his 48th loss. Cleveland does have the 48 connection. It's not as powerful as the 33 connection, though. And Flacco can stay on 52 road losses and 57 all-time road losses, because Los Angeles Rams is 52 and Rams is 57. But like I often say, staying on numbers is never that consistent, so you can't rely on it. So the picking up with the 99s and everything on the other side, definitely the stronger side. Rams ended up wasting the Browns, and the game ends with a big sack by Aaron Donald, number 99. And remember, Aaron Donald, his name in Gematria is 99. He wears the number 99. His birthday is May 23rd. Aaron Donald, date of birth, 523. The number 523 is the 99th prime number. The 99th NFL season, he lost to Brady and the Patriots, New England, and the Patriots came into that season with 523 wins, like his 523 birthday, and New England's 99. And that year, Brady beat the Chiefs in their stadium in the 99th NFL season, getting his 99th all-time road win. And notice how Arrowhead Stadium's 99, where he picked up his 99th road win to advance to the Super Bowl, where he beat Aaron Donald and the Rams. And we said in July why Boston could beat LA in the World Series 4-1, 41, because Super Bowl's 41, and LA's 41, and Boston Red Sox is 53. If you can follow these numbers, 41, 53. Boston Red Sox 53, Patriots 53, Los Angeles 53. It was Super Bowl 53 that year. Boston did beat LA 4-1, and then Brady won the Super Bowl at age 41, 99 days from Boston beating LA in the World Series to win the 99th NFL season. Again, for New England. Think about it. 13 bloodlines that go back to Europe. So anyhow, that was a major hit for us, because one gentleman won over $350,000 parlaying those things together. And again, that is the power of this knowledge. You will not win everything, but it will allow you to put things like we knew that those patterns were strong with New England, especially when Brady was there 41, 99. It's just, it made so much sense. And it happened exactly like that. We knew Chris Sale would be a big part of that game 5. And sure enough, he was wearing his number 41. But yeah, here, just to go over this week's games again, just quick recap. Gardner Minshew got his 13th career win in week 13, winning with 31 points, the reflection, right? His team became 7-5, and Indianapolis Colts equals 75, and Indianapolis equals 75. And if you go back to the NFL week where Sunday was November 12th, you'll see that the Colts had the first game of that day in Germany, and they won that game. And it was the Superior General, the leader of the Jesuits' 75th birthday. And again, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati in Germany. So on the Superior General's 75th birthday, the first game of the day is in Germany and the most 75 team in the league. Again, it's because the Colts have a double connection to 75. Indianapolis is 75 and Indianapolis Colts is 75. And of course, Indianapolis is also 201 like the Jesuit order. Like Ignatius of Loyola, the first Superior General of the Jesuits, is 201 and 75. So again, on the current Superior General's 75th birthday, starts off with the Colts. Home teams went 7-5 that day, and then Russell Wilson, the 75th pick of the draft, won in primetime. But Minshew with the 13th win. It wasn't an easy call, though, because a consistent number with the Titans is 20, and had Minshew lost, he would have got his 20th loss, but we thought the 13 and 75, based on what happened this year, was a little bit more powerful than that consistent 20 with the Titans. And again, that's where you got to learn to use the knowledge. And as I say that, I'm always learning more. And again, that's how it is with anything in life. You work with it, you just learn more about as time goes on. The Chargers. The Chargers won 6-0 as a 6-point favorite, so it was a push. Again, their next all-time road loss as a franchise will be 271, the 58th prime, and you'd never guess where their next road game is. It might be in the building hosting Super Bowl 58, so that was kind of our hunch in this one. They also stayed on 281 all-time road losses, including the postseason, which is the 60th prime in Gillette Stadium, 60, and maybe that's part of the reason the score was 6-0. But we did give the Chargers the edge in this one, like we gave the Colts the edge. Lions and Saints, we definitely played both sides of this game. We were hedged both ways because I advised a ticket with all the 9-3s that could hit this morning, and they all did. So that was a big winner for a lot of people. Ended up being, actually, even though the morning didn't seem that great for everyone who played the 9-3, it was an okay morning. Lost on the other tickets, won on the 9-3, so it was still plus. But anyhow, Lions had the 93 for the whole Aleister Crowley theme this week. And again, the Saints, Derek Carr could have got his 69th win, which is a big Lions number, but instead the 9-3 overpowered here. And again, for everyone who thinks this stuff's a joke, the joke's on you. Again, Aleister Crowley's death anniversary, I've always talked about how 93 the Spurs are, how many 93 rituals they do with that team. Like Aleister Crowley worshiped 93 and wrote the book 777. Greg Popovich for the Spurs picked up his 777th loss in the regular season on Crowley's death anniversary. And again, he's 74 years old right now, which is a very special number to the occult and English and this nation's history and the UK's. And again, I mean, you guys can look it up right now. Popovich hasn't played another game since his loss on Friday, December 1st, Crowley's death anniversary. Here, one more time. We showed it earlier today, but I guess just to make the point real time, it is a powerful example. Greg Popovich, longtime coach of the Spurs. He just got this December 1st, Crowley's death anniversary, and he got it against New Orleans, the most occult city in America with the tarot cards. In Gematria, tarot equals 74, like occult, like Gematria, like English, like energy, like London, like holiday, and the list goes on, like killing, like all the deaths connected to 7-4 from Kobe and Jordan's father and Moses Malone and a million others to 3 of the first 5 presidents dead on 7-4. What are the odds on the nation's birthday? The Falcons and Jets. This game, it's not a shock that the Jets lost. They became 4-8. And notice there's a double connection to that. New York Jets. When I first looked at this game, that was my first instinct, that they'd fall to 4-8 because New York Jets is 48 and so is Atlanta. But then as I got deeper into the research, I decided that I favored the Jets in this one, and that's because I had a logical reason. I always talk about the Jets in 1968 and their only Super Bowl winning season, the year 911 became the code and World Trade Center construction. Today's the 337th day of the year, the 68th prime number, and had the Falcons lost, they would have got their 68th loss versus the AFC as a franchise. So that ended up overpowering the 4-8. And the one other thing that was right on the surface when I was thinking they'd fall to 4-8 is just the whole connection with 13 and Illuminati. So that's what can be annoying sometimes as a decoder. It's like, okay, I saw the 4-8 thing as soon as I looked at the game. It didn't even take any time. I could have written that down and been on to the next game in 5 seconds. Then you do 20 more minutes worth of research and you're like, okay, I found some things here. And it's like, that's why I always tell people too. Sometimes you just keep it surface level, you'll have your best weeks. And then the Falcons got to 6-6, and again, 13's the 6 prime. Jets fell to 2-5 at home, like Falcons is 25. Remember the 25-point comeback by Brady on 2/5 over the Falcons in the 97th season, the 25th prime, where they moved the touchback to 25 yards. Notice Cardinals made the Steelers 4-3 at home. Super Bowl 43, the Steelers beat the Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals equals 75. I was on the wrong side of this game this morning, too. We knew that was risky and we knew that was a possible narrative. But again, the Steelers have had multiple very Jesuit deaths, and several of them have been at age 84. And they just hit an 84 ritual just days ago since Patrick Rooney died at age 84. Arizona, see, this is where I can get tricky with some teams because some teams are like this. Arizona in the most simple cipher is 84, but Arizona Cardinals with numerology 75. So you can make the argument for 8-4 or 7-5. And obviously it went to 7-5. And again, they did have that mega 75 ritual when the Superior General turned 75, and that's probably part of it because you got Cardinals that serve the Pope. You got the first Jesuit Pope right now, Pope Francis from Latin America. You got the first Superior General from Latin America. Again, he's 75. So I can understand, but I was leaning more towards the 84. And one other thing that I actually liked in that game, and keep in mind, part of the reason I think some of these way more than others, commercial came up. Um, I think it's like, yeah, just like how there's train tracks, and eventually the tracks they can, shift the fork so that the train takes a different path. I think some of these weeks are structured that way, um, more so than others, and then I do think it also creates a scenario where they can. It depends on where I think public money is. Like they're like, okay, the public money's more here. We're going to take this path in the tracks. That's just a theory and speculation, but if you study this, you'll see like some games are just like very lopsided and they go as expected, and other games like, damn, they really have this, so it makes a lot of sense either way. Uh Dolphins and Commanders, no shock. Dolphins, one of the 9-3 teams, get to 4-3 away. Florida's 43. Remember how number 43, it came down to Florida, where his brother was the 43rd governor. George W. Bush and his daddy was the 43rd vice president. They both went to Yale and were in Skull and Bone. Yale equals 43. Football equals 43. Florida 43. Where he was when 9/11 happened too. But American football, credited to Walter Camp, who's also in Yale Skull and Bones. So it's a big football number, and the head coach of the Dolphins right now, McDaniels, he went to Yale. So no surprise at all that happened. Plus, Order of Illuminati is 93. Skull and Bones is modeled after the Illuminati. And then Washington fell to 4-9, where Washington is 49. So on the surface, this looked very good for the Dolphins. I did advise this game as a dollar parlay with the Commanders upset. That's where you risk a dollar and you put it in a parlay with other games you like and try to turn a dollar bill into 30, 40, $50. Commanders are the type of game you would need for a tap in because they're a huge underdog at home. And a lot of times when a huge underdog wins, it is at home. Um, but the one thing the Commanders really had going for him is Rivera could have got his 27th win with Washington, which is a consistent number with Miami. Another consistent number with Miami is 45, and that's how many points they won with. And a number that also, since Beckham, you know what? The most consistent number with Miami since, or not, what's his name? Messi the Messiah goes to Miami, all the M's, right? He went there at age 36, and they were doing a lot of 36 stuff with Miami in the finals this past year. But Miami in 36, it's just it's like I've never seen the 36 trumpet so much, but since Messi went there at 36, today Rivera got his 36th loss with Washington. He could have got his 27th win. They lose 45-15, which wasn't a shocker at all. We expected the Dolphins to win, but we thought the Commanders were worth the risk of the dollar parlay. Again, the nice thing about dollar parlays is we do hit them a lot, and when you hit them, you get it. Imagine you hit a dollar and you win 30. Now you've paid essentially, if like you have a dollar parlay fund, you've paid for your next $30 parlays. You might miss the next $6 parlays you put down, but then you hit the seventh one and it paid 45 to 1. Like, damn, I love the dollar parlay. It's not nerve wracking and it's fun. And then the thing is, you get good with the knowledge over time. You get good with dollar parlays. You start to realize that you are staying steadily ahead and building a surplus. And you'll be like, you know what? My dollar parlay is now a $5 parlay. And then you continue to prove that you're winning with it enough to stay ahead and build. You can build your way up. And again, there are a lot of people who've been in this community who've built their way up, but they still stay modest and they have fun with it and they win more often than not. And even when they don't win, they can laugh about just how at least they can see through how stupid the game is and how rigged it is, and they still see the ritual that's being performed. Broncos and Texans, another tight game, the way the numbers fell this week. I did think the Broncos would get to 7-5 since they had Russell Wilson, the 75th pick, and he was part of that 75. But the Texans have been super interesting this year, and, again, that franchise, the Houston Texans, they always have 2 parallels with at least 2 other NFL teams, Dallas and Kansas City, and that's because in history, there was a Dallas Texans that became the Kansas City Chiefs. Hank Stram. And again, this year, the mega ritual with Andy Reid and Hank Stram, like, how do you deny it? Andy Reid ties Hank Stram at 124 wins, exactly 124 days after Hank Stram's death anniversary, which was on 7/4, and he does it in Germany in his football stadium where the football club that plays there is 124 years old right now. I mean, that's a mega ritual. That shows you Illuminati, New World Order. It's bigger than America. I think they're having games over there. Modern Freemasonry from London, American football credited to a Mason. It's ritualism. It's high ritual, and in front of people's faces who just don't know the secrets and seemingly don't wanna know. They prefer to just have the fun and the excitement of the game and not having it spoiled for them, the same thing they've been enjoying their whole life. That's the real problem with why people don't wanna wake up 'cause it happens when you're a child, it becomes part of your culture, becomes part of your life, and to say that it's been rigged your whole life, I mean, you have to admit that to yourself, and a lot of people just won't. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know that their players are being sacrificed, the game's rigged, they don't wanna know about nothing of that. None of that. And you see, that's why we were brought up in 13 years of slave school, where they never taught us anything about these secret societies that so many of the founders were connected to. A huge percentage of the founders, the vast majority of them were members of secret societies. Why is this left out of our slave school? Again, it's a rhetorical question. We know why. This is part of the answer right here, so we can be manipulated. But yeah, the Bucks, Mayfield got his 37th win. Always looking for a strong QB narrative. My favorite cipher is the dark blue one. So 37th win over Carolina. Uh, Consistent number with Carolina. Tampa Bay's got the 137 connection, the 33rd prime. They got the 3-3 at home. So Bucks took care of business. Rams had probably the best narrative of the day. Maybe the 49ers might have been the 2 best narratives of the day. The Rams, probably the Rams even more so. But, Shanahan became Shanahan's record is now 61-49, you guys, in the regular season. Philadelphia, 61, right? Philadelphia also 101, like how they were 10-1 coming in. 65, like how it's established on the day, leaving 65 days left in the year. But 61, he picked up his 61st win, 61 points, and he stayed on 49 losses. Eagles, 49, of course, the 49ers as well. And remember, that's a special number because NFL's 49 and America's 49 and Scottish is 49, as in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Square root of 49, 7. They're the Masons, the capital G, the 7th letter. And, hmm. Oh, I know, I know another 49. Super Bowl, like when the Niners beat the Chargers with 49 points in the 75th NFL season. Warriors also took care of business in the 75 season. Uh, remember how perfect that was. They picked up their, they became 7-5 in the finals, the Warriors, and gave Boston their 70 or they picked up their 75th road win in the postseason, winning the finals in the 75th anniversary season, and Boston did the Warriors. So there's something with 75 in San Francisco. Again, Catholic Church is 75, like Roman Catholic. San Francisco is named after Saint Francis of Assisi, who created the Franciscans, which are the precursors of the Jesuits. But yeah, it was definitely a mediocre day, but Thursday was a thing of beauty. We liked the over, we liked the Seahawks to cover the spread. We thought it'd be a 7-point game instead of a 6-point game, but Cowboys were a 9-point favorite, so that's why we like Seahawks to cover. Had the Seahawks lost by 7, Cowboys would have been plus 169 in points scored for the year, and Seattle Seahawks is 169 plus it's a square root of 13, and it was the first game of week 13. So we felt like there was a real good chance that it was a +7, which again, Cowboys had to win by more than 9 to cover. So if they only win by 7, Seahawks are the winning side of the bet. So we saw that. We liked the over in this game, had some nice player props. And again, Dak got his 41st home win on the anniversary of the death of number 41 in the first game of week 13, where 41 is the 13th prime. And again, Dallas equals 41 and 13. And Dallas is also 113, like November 30th, 11/30. So here's the thing to watch tonight, you guys. Here's the thing to watch tonight. Packers are up early on the Chiefs. Game's just getting started. You gotta love the score being 7-3. That's a number there in Green Bay. And somebody is going for their 73rd regular season win tonight. Um, But this game, look at the home records coming into this game, and here, I'm gonna give you guys the clue. We always talk about what is 47, right? The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL, right? So let's look at home team records for the week coming into this game. The Cowboys won Thursday Night Football, made home teams 1-0. Just counting up from the last game to the start of the day, Eagles lost, home teams 1-1. Rams won, home teams 2-1. Bucks won, home teams 3-1. Texans won, home teams 4-1. Commanders lost 4-2. Steelers lost 4-3. Jets lost 4-4. Saints lost 4-5. Patriots lost 4-6. Titans lost 4-7. 4-7 home records coming into Lambeau, who beat the Chiefs in the first ever Super Bowl, which was the 47th season of the NFL. Again, think about it, you guys. The word foundation in Gematria is 47. The 47th problem of Euclid is studied by the Freemasons. They pay tribute to this number in a big way. It's why this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month, and a whole bunch of other things about this history where when you study it, you see how relevant 47 was in it. So just think about that home teams went 4-7 this week. So much for home field advantage for this to be the primetime game. And again, so far the 9-3 pattern's perfect. It has a chance to be perfect if the Chiefs become 9-3 and if the Jaguars beat the Bengals and also become 9-3. I do got to warn though, when there's strong patterns in the league, that sometimes they are perfect, but it's pretty rare that they're perfect. Strong patterns, like when you're really into it, a lot of times it'll hit in every game for the week except for one. So do keep that in mind. We'll definitely stream tomorrow and talk more about Monday Night Football. But yeah, again, week after week, it's a league wide ritual. And all of these things that I'm sharing with you are the things that we talk about and plan about and discuss about before the games. Because sometimes you can see the ritual perfectly going into the primetime game. And to be honest, like tonight, I understand why it's coming in 4-7, but I can from that league wide record. Again, there's things in the game that we've already broken down, and I'll keep that exclusive for the Patreon. But tonight, honestly, like if home teams became 4-8, or if home teams became 5-7, I can't make the greatest argument for why either of those would be tonight. I can tell you though that if Mahomes wins in the 9-3 thing, the score starting 7-3, Mahomes' next win. Look at this. And understand that's what I do for the people who are into the work. I mean, the value in supporting me for this knowledge is I break down everything today every day, and it takes a ton of time, but I compile it and put it out so that people don't have to do all the grunt work, um, compiling this information. But Patrick Mahomes, uh, you see regular season stats? He's 72 and 19, right? 72 and 19 right now in an early hole, 7-3, and he's got eyeballs on his 73rd win. So, to be fair though, for all you Packers fans who want to hear that the Packers are going to win, here's your hope that the Packers are the first team to break the 9-3 pattern, which has not missed yet this week. Remember, Jesuit is 84, right? The Jesuit Vince Lombardi, he took the Packers to Green Bay. He died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown. If you're new here, Jesuit, huge number 84. The first ever black coach to win college basketball was at the Jesuit University of Georgetown, John Thompson. And you see how Jesuit's 78 in reverse? He died in a massive 78 ritual on a Sunday, unexpectedly. John Thompson, RIP. And then they were nice enough to rename the court after him 666 days later. And there's a reason for all these numbers. But if you write out the Jesuit order, it's 84. And if you write out the Catholic Church, it's 84. And there's a reason that Zionism equals 84. And so does Masonry. And George Orwell wrote 1984. And with regards to Zionism, the nation's or the world's first ever Zionist nation, Israel, officially declared war most recently on October 8th, the day leaving 84 days left in the year. And if you're really paying attention, you see how Orwellian it all is. Just like how in George Orwell's 1984, he wrote that all it took to fill up the horizons or the horizons of people's minds was football, gambling, and beer. And again, George Orwell, 1984, LeBron James, like the most 1984 thing there ever was. But oh yeah, with regards to the Packers, Green Bay, Wisconsin is, or it's not Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm tripping. It's Green Bay Packers. It's Green Bay Packers that is 84. So, and just for the person who's new here, these four ciphers, the ones on the left, where Green Bay Packers is 150 and 69, rituals that can hit those numbers are a lot more consistent than rituals that can hit the other numbers. The other numbers can play, but sometimes I almost wish I never looked at reverse in sports. I don't, if that was true, I just wouldn't, but whenever like I get misled the most, it's always by the ciphers on the right. And I find it funny. I'm like, what is that about? Like, why do they even do it that way? So anyhow, NBA yesterday was absolutely beautiful for all the haters. Just stop. Yeah, you guys are glad I had a mediocre NFL Week 13, but I saw it coming before it happened. I warned everybody because I just knew the games were tight this week. But again, that 93, if that was the route you went, and again, being part of the streams and hearing everything we're talking about, again, I was emphasizing to people why that 93 could make a lot of sense. The ritual with Popovich, clearly paying tribute to Crowley. They did it earlier this year. That's again, when patterns are established, it's often lucrative to follow those patterns that have already played out. So we'll leave it there for now. If you want to join us to talk college football playoff, we'll be doing that on Patreon along with the NFL, NBA notes every day, except for on days where there's no games, which was really weird for this Sunday. And again, we talked about why, if you missed the earlier live stream, why it matters this Sunday, 201 weeks after Kobe's death, where he died on the anniversary of Bear Bryant, the Alabama football coach. Nick Saban gets in today. So if you missed that stream, you might want to check that out. Again, the game is rigged and people need to know. So we'll leave it there. And it looks like so here's somebody using the knowledge. Michael Pruitt, he used the knowledge and he saw why he made sense for a TD at a huge payout. Well done. So open up, did well with the prop bets. Congrats. All right, yeah, I'd take some calls, but I got to get dinner going here because Sweet Lady will be home in about 20 minutes, and I've done most of the prep work, so all I got to do is put on the finishing touches. I just wanted to get it. I wasn't even going to do a stream tonight, but again, I got mad when they blocked my video on the flag. It's like, all right, you're going to block my video on the flag. I'll get on here and do an even longer stream about it. I hate when they're so selective when they block videos. And oftentimes when they'll block a video is like when it's a really big game and there's a lot of attention on it. It's like, see, they're just exploiting their terms of service. They're just using it It's just like flags in the NFL, right? That the refs throw them, depending on the situation, what the script's got to be. It's all politics. Hold on, before I get off, just for my own amusement, I have to look at the box score of the Niners and Eagles game because I have not done that yet. Brock Purdy with the 314 passing yards pie. Purdy had 19 completions and Hurts had 26. Look, you guys, I'm telling you, it's about the flag, man. And the ongoing history and Kaepernick and the protests all the way up to now. Flag has the gematria 26 and 19. And in the same cipher where flag is 26, Philadelphia is 101, which is the 26th prime number. Big numbers. Remember the year that Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl and beat Brady. They went through the Falcons, and we saw how perfect we killed that year in the playoffs because we're like, okay, they're going to play the Falcons with the 239 gematria since the flag's at 239 Art Street, the 52nd prime on their way to Minnesota. And exactly what they did. McCaffrey with the 93 yards as his team gets to 9-3 on the Philadelphia Eagles. He played at Stanford. Stanford, founded by a Jesuit. But yeah, they just couldn't move the ball on the ground. Eagles, what happened to the tush push? Debo, 4 targets for 4 receptions for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about efficiency. What a script. Oh, man. Yeah, and what's amazing about this NFL Week 4 here, again, right at the top of the NFL week notes, we always go over the numbers to look for and the date numerology and all that. But again, NFL week 13, numbers to know: 169, square root of 13, 91, the 13th triangular, 41, the 13th prime, 13, the 7th Fibonacci, 13, the 6th prime, 13 games in NFL week 13. And then the date numerology for all these games. You got 4 and 13 in the date numerology paths on these days. So Anyhow, we'll leave it there for now. Congrats to the winners. Thank you to all the supporters. And until next time, True Seeker.